The lie behind my truth in coaching. In Lying, neuroscientist and philosopher Sam Harris presents a radical but refreshingly clear ethical position. Don't lie, not even white lies. His argument isn't grounded in idealism but in neuroscience, trust, and the human need for coherence in relationships. According to Harris, lying, even to spare someone's feelings, fractures reality, erodes trust, and avoids the moral maturity needed for genuine connection. Coaching, especially in its modern, NLP-infused forms, presents a very different story. Here, truth is no longer something shared, it's something owned. Reframing is the currency. Subjectivity is sacred. And the phrase "my truth" has become a linguistic wildcard, allowing coaches and clients alike to bypass uncomfortable facts in favor of emotionally satisfying fictions. Harris, lying as ethical evasion. Harris argues that lying is rarely about protection. More often, it's about avoiding the discomfort of truth-telling. We lie not to protect others, but to preserve the image we want them to hold of us, and to avoid confrontation or consequence. By lying, we deny our friends access to reality, and their ability to navigate it. This isn't about being brutally honest or morally superior. It's about refusing to distort reality. Harris sees this as essential for healthy relationships, mental clarity, and even social cohesion. In coaching, however, the distortion of reality is often sold as transformation. NLP, the reframe as a moral loophole. One of the fundamental tools in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is reframing. It's a linguistic trick. Change the meaning of an event or behavior by shifting its context. This technique, borrowed loosely from therapy but stripped of ethical guardrails, is marketed as empowering. But when applied to interpersonal ethics, reframing becomes dangerous. In NLP-informed coaching, leaving a family becomes choosing alignment. Infidelity is reframed as living in my truth. Avoiding accountability is taking radical responsibility for self. Criticism is projection from others not doing the work. This isn't growth. It's justification masquerading as insight. My truth and the end of dialogue. In coaching spaces, especially those drawing from integral theory, NLP, or neurosemantics, my truth is often treated as a trump card. Once declared, it shuts down inquiry. No one may challenge it, because doing so would be judging someone else's lived experience. This creates a culture where truth becomes untouchable and, more importantly, unaccountable. You can reframe nearly any betrayal, breach, or breakdown as spiritual evolution, so long as it feels true to you. This subjective framing directly opposes what Harris warns about. He maintains that truth requires correspondence to reality, not just emotional resonance. In coaching culture, however, feeling true is often good enough. Coaching's ethical erosion. This isn't a semantic issue. It's a systemic one. When reframing becomes the default mechanism for meaning-making, harm is sanitized. Victims are gaslit. Perpetrators become heroes of their own redemption arc. The coaching industry, in its unregulated sprawl, actively promotes this framework, and clients are taught to see any challenge to their truth as resistance, projection, or a sign that the other person simply hasn't done the work. It's a spiritual bypass with a corporate edge. Science versus pseudoscience. Sam Harris is a neuroscientist. His claims rest on research, logic, and ethical reasoning. NLP, by contrast, has no scientific foundation. It is a pseudoscience developed in the 1970s by Richard Bandler and John Grinder, who borrowed concepts from real therapists and twisted them into a commodified model of persuasion and identity hacking. The coaching world often relies on NLP not because it's true, but because it sells. It's easier to sell someone a reframe than to help them face reality. And it's more profitable to give someone permission to feel right than to encourage the discomfort of honest self-examination. The real danger. When coaching reframes lying as truth-telling and narcissistic self-focus as personal growth, we don't just end up with bad coaching. We end up with broken relationships, shattered families, and a generation of people who believe they are evolving while leaving destruction in their wake. Truth, shared, grounded, and sometimes painful, is what holds human beings together. Harris knows this. The coaching industry, increasingly, does not. Let's call it what it is. My truth is often a lie with better branding.